Well, the Presbyterian Church is at it again. It set the vote on the monogamy requirements at its General Assembly this summer in Milwaukee. The rule that's been submitted states that pastors must display moral character and, if engaged in relationships of a sexual nature, living in a monogamous one. And it should be no surprise that the proposal drew outrage from church advisory committees. The official response from the Advocacy Committee for Women and Gender Justice claimed that requiring pastors to be monogamous attempts to regulate the private lives and relational structures of individuals in ways that risk harm rather than healing. The committee further argued that a monogamy mandate could unintentionally reinforce systems of shame, silence, and spiritual coercion. The Advocacy Committee on LGBTQIA plus equality argued that monogamy rule would enforce white privilege. The group claimed the mandate imposes a narrowly culturally specific understanding of family that privileges a dominant culture framework over the lived realities of communities of color and global Christians. The third advisory, the Committee on Social Witness Policy, also disapproved of the measure, arguing it should be rejected in favor of a separate proposal to study diverse understanding of relationships. I don't think this really comes as a surprise to anybody, given the history of the Presbyterian Church. So just to give a quick history of the church, you had the Northern and Southern Presbyterian Church. In the 1930s, they began to allow women to be ordained as ruling elders. In 1956, the first female pastor was ordained in the Northern, and in 1965, the first female was ordained in the Southern Presbyterian Church. In 1983, the two churches came together and formed the modern Presbyterian Church USA. In 1996, the church allowed its first openly transgender minister. And in 2011, they began ordaining openly gay lesbian pastors in same-sex relationships, redefining what is a man and a woman in 2014 to two people, and allowing pastors to perform same-sex marriages. So between 2012 and 2017, you had an exodus of 628 churches and a loss of 46% of its membership, leading to the 8,432 churches that make up the Presbyterian Church to this day. For example, during that time, the Southern Baptists had a 5% increase in baptisms and a 4% increase in attendance. So this is what happens when a church has no leadership. It creates a complete power vacuum where sin is sucked in and the church is allowed to be corrupted from within because the people are left to their own devices with no moral character and no backbone in the church. Remember when Moses went up on Mount Sinai? He was only gone for 40 days. And when he come back down, the people had completely abandoned God and was worshiping a golden calf. After Moses leading them out of Egypt, leading them through the desert, God providing food for them and water for them for nearly 3 months, it only took 40 days for them to completely give up on everything and to fall back in their own sinful desires to do what they wanted to do and lust after what was in their heart. These churches are nothing more than a place for people to hang out and associate with people of like-minded sinful desires. Nothing more. There is no word preached here. This is a mockery of God and a mockery of the church. And if you remember what happened when Moses came down off that mountain, around 3,000 were killed by the sword by the Levites, and God struck down the remaining with a plague. You may think you're enjoying life right now and doing what you want to do and having a great time and laughing it up. There will be a price to be paid one day when you have to answer for the things you've done and those people that you have caused harm to. I urge everybody to pray for the Presbyterian Church and those people that are in it. And if you're in the Presbyterian Church, I strongly encourage you and beg you to leave and find a real church. There's nothing you can do at this church. This church cannot be saved. This church is too far gone. It's become a house of sin. Satan is at the altar of this church. You need to leave immediately. Get your family, get your friends, and get out now. Until next time, friends, stay safe and keep praying.